Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the following morning. Camped out here, got a good 8 or 9 hours of sleep, and as you can see, the weather is still miserable. Garm doesn't seem to mind, though. So, let's pack this business up. And we need to get ourselves down to Dragon Bridge as soon as we can this morning. I have already grabbed a bite to eat, but we are going to refill our water skins on the way. That looks treacherous. Let's head around this way. If you remember, we're headed to Dragon Bridge to try and warn the guards there, or the Penitus Oculus, that they're being observed by the Forsworn. Just seems like something they should know. And that brings to mind another topic that we need to discuss. Got these pelts, right? Yeah. And that has to do with the issue of our contact with the Thalmor. Up until recently, our contact, as we knew it, was Elteries and Markarth. At least we believe it was. He approached us. And Elteries is now presumed dead. However, some interesting things have happened recently. Let's grab this pelt here and we'll take a look. We have received a letter from Jarl Siggeir of Falkreath. And the only ones who could have known how to find us, who could have sent a courier, even possibly sent a courier, would be the Thalmor. So the fact that we've received this letter leads us to believe that perhaps there's something going on with Jarl Siggeir that the Thalmor are asking us to pay attention to. So, that's an item of interest. What does that mean? So, this idea that we need to go and see Jarl Siggeir and Falkreath is something that's on Etienne's mind, but it's a lower priority to the things that he's working on now. However, that question of what the Jarl wants of us is going to kind of color or have an impact on some of the decisions we make in the longer term. It also brings to mind the question of how is it that the Thalmor know where we are? How were they able to pinpoint our location precisely enough that they could actually get a courier to us with that note? And to Etienne, this is the more alarming thing, because we've gone to great pains to basically move like a ghost through the Reach and hide our presence from literally everybody. And yet somehow they were able to get a letter to us. So this is something that's going to be in the back of Etienne's mind going forward, thinking about what are the circumstances here, what's going on, and is there something that we should be concerned about regarding the Thalmor and their ability to track us. So, food for thought. All right, some relief from the bad weather, finally. Well, maybe we should talk to a guard. Now remember, last time we left Dragon Bridge, it was under not such great circumstances. So, let's talk to this guy.
Wait, I know you.
You're making a mistake.
There's no mistake. You're a wanted man, and it's time to pay for your crimes.
I don't have time for this, do you? I mean, I took an apple.
You know what? You're not worth the hassle. Go. Be some other god's problem.
That's what I like to hear. All right. Let's see if there's anybody that we can report our findings to. The Penitus Oculus seems like the most obvious place to go at this point with this information. That's the observation point up there. And if you remember, we're thinking it's somewhat alarming that the Forsworn have turned their attention to settlements that are on the fringes of the Reach.
Citizen?
Hello, I have some information you might be interested
You
in.
must be lost. The tavern is down the road a piece.
I'm not lost.
Citizen?
Hey, there's Forsworn watching the town here. You might want to be concerned about that. Hey, are you listening to me?
I'm fairly certain you wandered into the wrong building, friend.
All right. Deaf ears. Either they're stupid, or they already know. I sort of doubt that they've taken the time to explore any of those areas up there.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything. Take a seat by the fire
So,
and I'll send
Etienne's getting the distinct impression that they don't care, for whatever reason, or don't believe what he's saying.
something different about you. I can tell. Hope you ain't here to cause trouble.
No, why would I do that? Okay. Let's refill the water.
Of
Why not?
course.
All right. Heard any rumors lately? There have been rumors of suspicious activity around Helgen. Legion patrols have been spotted in the area. Helgen's a bit outside of our range, but good to know. What else?
Been talk of a little boy in Windhelm. Name of Aventus Aretino. Get this. He's been trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood. Foolish lad.
All right. What have you got for sale?
Food for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
We'll just take a look, see if she's got anything interesting we might want to use to add some variety to our mix of foods and beverages. We've actually got quite a bit of wine and ale and mead and stuff like that back in our base camp. Everything else here is pretty much stuff that we already have. If she had something freshly made, like a hot meat pie or something like that, I would think he might sit down for that, but not this stuff. We'll take the salt, though. We can use the salt. Let's see. Everything else here we've got. I'm going to sell... We'll sell some rabbit since it's uncooked. I'm going to sell the stuff that I've got that's uncooked, so...
Until next time.
She gained some nice meat that she can serve to her customers, and we offloaded some stuff that was weighty and could potentially spoil, so that works out good. Well, this was a complete bust.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
Yep. Increased reports, continued reports of vampire activity. We've seen that even out in the wilderness. So that is definitely alarming. Let's use the tanning rack since we're here, and we'll use the workbench as well, and see if we can upgrade our armor. Alright, let's deal with all these wolf pelts. Sabercat pelts. Bear pelt. Cave bear pelt. Alright. You know what I am going to manufacture? Small leather tent with 2 bedrolls. Small fur tent, 1 bedroll. Large fur tent. So, to make another large fur tent, requires 2 leather, of which I have 4, and 12 fur plates, of which I have 25. So let's use some stuff up. What I'm going to do here is I'm making a large fur tent with a bedroll, and then I'm going to upgrade it to a large fur tent with 2 bedrolls. Okay. Then we're going to go down here under miscellaneous, and we're going to convert some more leather. So the reason I'm making the larger tent is because I think it's time to create another remote campsite. And using the larger tent with 2 bedrolls is my way of sort of building a camp that will accommodate the addition of Garm. So Garm gets a bedroll, so to speak. Okay, so we can upgrade this and this. Alright, let's just make sure we've got the right gear on. It's really a bummer being down the Forge Master's fingers, but I think it was more important that we turn those over and keep our word to maintain the good relationship that we've got with the orcs. So, alright, let's do this. Now, we've got plenty of leather. Although I'm not anywhere near the next level, so we'll just upgrade these right away. Alright, that's good. A little bit of extra protection. Alright, so this presents us with decision-making time. The Penitus Oculus does not seem to be the least bit concerned about the fact that there is a group of Forsworn watching this village. So, at this point, we've done everything we can. There's really nothing more we can do. If they don't consider it to be a serious threat, then they don't. And so about all we can do is get ourselves back out into the field and continue operating. And that's about it. So if we consult our map, we do have a Forsworn encampment that is pretty close by that we could probably deal with. And then I think the plan is going to be we're going to hit this camp. After that, we are going to set up an alternate camp back here deeper in the interior of the Reach. We're going to leave our Crow's Nest camp where it is because we're still going to be able to use it, but we're going to create a camp back here in the interior of the Reach in a location that is concealed, but is a location hopefully that Garm can also reach, so she could accompany us to that camp. And then we will come back, hit the plateau, and make our way across the plateau, paying a visit to these Forsworn camps with, I think, our final attack happening here at Hagrock Redoubt. And we'll see what we run into along the way. So I think it makes sense that Deepwood would be our next objective. Let's meander across the bridge first. Seen some new construction over here. These are obviously buildings that have been constructed in the weeks since we entered the Reach. So we are going to investigate. Well, welcome back to the story, everybody. So many of you have become diehard followers of Etienne's tale, and I really do appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun to put together. Iron Tree Mill. Wow. This went up fast.
Here for work? Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop.
Yeah.
I'd better get going.
What are you guys?
That's a hard way to make a living, but we find ways to make ends meet.
Yeah?
These axes can chop a lot more than wood, you know.
Right. Looks like you got a mud crab infestation. This is interesting. Huh. Good dog. Hey, took care of your mud crab problem. That'll be 10 septums. This is an interesting location. Well, we're here. Let's chop some wood. God knows it can be hard to find a chopping block when you need one. So let's go through a couple of rounds of this. We can definitely use it for not only starting fires, but making arrows. We're going to need to get fairly serious about making arrows pretty soon. And a higher quality of arrows, which is going to mean some investments in smithing. All right. I think that's pretty good for now. We don't want to overload ourselves. Let's check out our level up situation here. Okay. It is time to invest in health, folks. One perk to spend. Level 17. Wow. Okay, so we could invest in smithing. If I invest in smithing, we're going to go up here to Merrick and start working on this. I think ultimately Etienne would like to get to the point where we can start manufacturing a higher class of arrows on our own instead of being so reliant on what we find in the field. Okay, so in one-handed, we've invested in the base. Eventually we're going to go here to bite marks, but we're not there yet. In archery, there are more investments that we can make here, but we're not eligible to make some of those investments quite yet. So that rules out archery and rules out one-handed investments. In the sneak tree, we've been kicking a lot of butt here in the sneak tree. This bottom level of master sneak, we got to invest in that at some point. Pretty soon, I'm thinking. Silent roll. Infiltrator. Infiltrator would be a great one to have. Right behind you. Hiding in your target's blind spot. Sneaking is 25% more effective within 30 feet and 75% more effective within 15 feet. That is also going to be a nice investment. So at this point, we're really looking at... What was smithing again? Oh yeah, I mean, we can invest in that now. Alright. So we are going to invest in Elven. And that's going to open up some nice options for us. Alright, so we've checked out this new mill. Getting the lay of the land. Here's some new buildings down here, too. Dragon Bridge seems to be expanding. We'll go and check out the full extent of this settlement. Things like this is just, you know, important for us to understand how the landscape is changing. Ultimately, we're sort of being asked to defend this place, you know? So good to know what we're up against here. Look at this. Pretty extensive farming operation here. Potatoes and gourds, cabbages, apiary, fresh water source. Well, water's everywhere around here. Hey,
Need something?
how's business?
It's tough, with just the two of us. There's hardly ever time to make the occasional delivery to the taverns of Skyrim. We could use a pair of hands and a strong back. A little coin for you.
Huh. What do you need help with?
That'd be great. There's a case of our soon-to-be famous mead that needs to get to Winterhold. Get it there and you can keep the delivery fee. See ya.
Huh. Well, I'm not going anywhere near Winterhold. So, it's going to have to wait. Hey, don't scare the cows. Come on. Let's get out of here. Look at this nice stable area. Wow. This is nice. Don't ask me what mod adds this, because I couldn't tell you. It might be something like perhaps cutting room floor or something like that. I'm not sure. But I like it. It's nice. All right. Back into the wilderness we go, my friends. The Reach calls to the hounds. And we are the hounds now. All right. Well, let's explore this side of the river and see what kind of entry point into the Reach we have on this side of the river. I think a big part of what I love so much about the Ranger is you never need an excuse to explore, right? I mean, that's what the Ranger is all about, and the Ranger is about understanding the areas in which they range. You know, that's why they're called Rangers. And I think of a ranger as not being unlike the other creatures that inhabit this ecosystem. A good ranger becomes a contributing member or part of the ecosystem, and becomes, it sounds cliche, but kind of becomes one with the environment, right? To the point where we kind of know all the paths in the you know, little out of the way places, which just makes us a more effective fighter here. But in those cases where it's necessary for us to be a steward of the land, we can be more effective one. Look at this. Let's explore this. Strike a torch. Yeah, we don't want to go in there weaponless either. Whoa. Holy. Bottomless sinkhole is right. So look at this. This is a location that is right across the river from where we set up our camp last night. We could have stayed in here, out of the weather. These are the little hidey holes that are good for us to know about. Go, Garm. Alright. This is a great secret spot where we could spend a night or hide from enemies, things like that. Let's mark that on the map. Go back to the bow. Lots of mud crabs. Pretty sure I saw an arrow bounce off here. Let's take these materials. We haven't done much exploration of what we could do with a mud crab carcass. Here we go. Here it is. Get that back at least. So, yeah, our camp last night, we set up right up in that area. So this is good to know. We need to identify as many little spots like that as we can. Alright, we're going to have to cross down here. Alright, I'm looking for a spot where the water's relatively calm. So we can avoid any potential loss of life and limb or gear. Wow. Look at that. Good dog. Less than ideal. But I'm thinking my success with rock hopping up there would have been not great. Predators. Looks like we're the nastiest predator in the area at this point. All right, we are going to have to deal with soggy gear here for a little bit. But Ettient is painfully aware that that swim is probably a setback. So we are going to travel deeper into the interior of the Reach, into the areas where we normally roam. And we'll establish a camp, dry our things out, get warm, regroup. We've got some thinking to do. All right, let's make sure. What we got here? Okay, configuring auxiliary armors. Options, options, options. Okay, this is the stuff that we would expect to see. Actually, maybe this is a convenient stop right here. If our stuff is wet, then we will hunker down here. All right, so Etienne is going to dry out his things. We'll take this opportunity perhaps to get a little bit of work done here. First of all, I am down a tanning rack, so we're going to build one with all that new wood we cut. Okay. Nothing else here that we would care to create. So we'll dry the gear. Get a meal. And I'm thinking, can I just set up the cooking pot anywhere I want? Put it right on this fire, right? Right there. Awesome. Oh. Gotta wait for it to activate. There we go. There's our delicious looking stew. Mmm. Alright. We're gonna cook this rabbit haunch. Gonna make some potato soup. We are going to eat a hot meal, drink some ale. All right. Time check. All right. It's early evening, so we're going to make this our camp for the night. We'll stay here and we'll head out tomorrow. So, with that in mind, let's make a quick plan of attack. So we're back at Bruka's Leap. Okay. I'm thinking... So the crow's nest is right in here. And we want to build a temporary camp back here in the interior more. And I'm not sure if the crow's nest will stay where it is. If we build another camp here that's relatively close to the crow's nest, we could pack up the crow's nest and relocate it to a secure location on the plateau itself, since we're going to be operating there for a while. Or further down the river valley, actually. There's a lot of action that's going to be going on down this way. Maybe we could find a secure spot down in here to relocate the crow's nest. Perhaps. So that'll be a good plan for tomorrow. So let's get some rest. We're going to go for the full 8 hours. Good morning. Good morning, dog. All right. Pack up our cooking pot. Okay, we are fed. We're well rested. Our gear has been dried by the fire. Let's head out. Deeper into the Reach we go. We are going to try to avoid any wet river crossings today if we possibly can. We need to get further into the interior of the Reach here if we want to avoid some of these river crossings anyway. We've become a lot more familiar with... Whoa. Garm's busy this morning. Skin those wolves. So the consensus seems to be that having some character development focused episodes hang in there, Garm. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Our instincts failing us. That was scary. Good dog. Look at these things. What we know so far is our encounters with vampires have been fairly limited. There was the one encounter as we were entering Markarth. And we didn't directly participate in that. We were observers and we saw the aftermath, but we used the distraction to sneak into the city, so we didn't get directly involved in that conflict. But we've heard the reports, and we've seen these terrifying beasts before. And when we saw them before, they were accompanied by vampires. So we are on high alert now. Dogs with collars are dogs with owners. And we don't want to be surprised by the owners of those dogs in particular. Wow, this fog is thick, but I love it. It enhances the whole experience. The impact that fog like this has on Etienne's ability to be effective with his weapon of choice is pretty stunning. Okay, let's get a map check. There's the Deepwood Redoubt. All right. Changed my mind. We're just going to go straight to Deepwood Redoubt. There's no point in I've got an idea in mind for the place that I want to set a base camp in the interior. And if I select that spot, it means we would have to do some backtracking. And if we've got vampires roaming this area, I'd prefer not to be spending a lot of time continually running back and forth across it. So one for Garm, one for Etienne. Wow. This is thick. Really messes with your sense of direction. Okay, north is the direction we want to be going. So we're going to try to... Okay, there we've got a landmark. The Orc Stronghold is a good landmark for us here. Okay, this is a trail, and we want to stay off of it. Okay, we got that ruin up there, which is a very familiar landmark. Okay, we're going to need to get around these hills here. So we're going to keep well above the trail. The objective of this strategy is to always kind of work under the assumption that these trails are a lightning rod for bandits who would want to ambush people. So we want to be in a situation to ambush the ambushers, right? Turn around. You bastard. Damn. It's terrible shooting right now. Stop moving, you bastards.
Kill you.
Gotcha. Gut shot. All right. That worked out pretty good. Okay. The telltale forsworn arrows. That is an excellent indication that we're on the right track. The weather is clearing up too, which may work in our favor here. Garm must have been off hunting, missed all the fun. Okay. We need to figure out where these goons were stationed. Okay. There's something over here. Ah. Yeah, ambushers. Look at, here's a small encampment. This must be where they've been operating out of. Some coins. Wheel of Pain Amulet. Wow. Well, it stands to reason this may be the first line of defense, so they trap and guard the trail on the approach to this area. There it is right there. That, ladies and gentlemen, will bring us to the conclusion of this episode. I want to thank you all. That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the conclusion of this episode of The Passage. I want to thank you all for watching Etienne's adventure, and I will see you next time.